Every entrepreneur has a moment or a series of moments that leads them to become who they are meant to be. I call these moments intuitive turning points. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I am the host of Intuitive Turning Points. Come join us for stories of successful entrepreneurs who have gone through the journey. These entrepreneurs have accomplished so many things in their lives. I will have best-selling authors, TEDx speakers, people who've created successful businesses as an entrepreneur. It doesn't happen overnight. And as I always say, entrepreneurship is a personal development journey. And it takes time to develop yourself into the person you're meant to be, to help other people become who they're meant to be. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. Today on Intuitive Turning Points, I have Shawn Marshall. Now, Shawn is an entrepreneur. He's a former fitness and nutrition business owner, and he's also a leadership coach. He coaches his clients to discover and step into their life purpose so that they can contribute to humanity while also designing the life that they are deeply called to live. Now, Shawn sold everything that he owned last year to travel the world while doing the work that he was called to do. And in this episode, you're going to learn the amazing story of what this entrepreneur has done. And you're going to learn about just 3 weeks ago, his most recent intuitive turning point and what it's leading him to do. So welcome to the show, Shawn Marshall. Hi, Shawn Marshall. It's so great to have you on Intuitive Turning Points today.
Awesome. Thank you. It's awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm really excited to hear a little more about your story. I know a tiny bit, but I would love you to tell our viewers what intuitive turning points or a series of moments just led you to become who you are today.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I love this topic. I think it's so important, and we all do have an intuition that is constantly speaking to us and guiding us. So great, such a great topic.
Yeah.
You know, the one of the first ones was in high school. I was having issues with my knees, and it was impacting my ability to play sports. It just started one day. So I went and saw a physical therapist and a doctor, and it was the same thing. They didn't make eye contact with me. Mm. One of them grabbed a little hammer, banged my knee a couple times, and he's like, "You have weak legs. You should strengthen your legs, and your knees will be good." Turn around and walked out, and like that. That planted a seed for what didn't feel good, what I didn't want to feel like, and what I didn't want to make people feel like. So we went, my mom took me up to Flagstaff. We were in like New Mexico at the time, and my uncle ran he still does, 2 health clubs in Flagstaff athletic clubs. Uh-huh. And he had this specialist there that took me into his office and actually listened to me. He spent like an hour with me. And he really tried to make a difference. He put me through all these assessments, and I left there like it put something in my heart. It was like this experience where this dude actually cares, and it felt so good to be cared for. And the funny thing is, it didn't even make a difference on my knees. Never fixed my knees, but it put something. That was a moment where I knew that when I grew up, I wanted to make people have that feeling that I had of like being listened to. So I ended up took a sidetrack. I went in the military, and then the military was a turning point also because I'm entrepreneurial spirited, and in the military, you're in a box, and it's a different life. It's not for entrepreneurs. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But doing that, like I had committed to it. So I gave my word, I did it, advanced in rank, played the game, but I just like hated it, freaking hated it. Couldn't wait to get out, and that experience was a turning point too, because it gave me the experience of doing something that I didn't want to do, like living a life that I didn't want to do. I put myself there in this box, and then I was like, how the hell, excuse me if I curse, but how the heck all right, how do I get out of here? And so that experience was critical in me going into entrepreneurship. So When I got out, I went down a dark path for a while afterward.
Yeah.
I started a business. It was not a legal business.
Mm-hmm.
I made a ton of money. And then I ended up taking a personal development course, a leadership and emotional intelligence course in 2007. And in that course is an 8-day course in person. And on the last day, I just realized who I was being in the world. I realized I was being inauthentic. I realized I wasn't doing good in the world. I didn't have close friends. I wasn't being good to women. A lot of stuff, I was out of shape. And so when it hit me, I mean, literally we're in a room of like 100 people, and I got on a stage, took the microphone and started crying. And I was just like a go-it guy, long hair, big beard, dark glasses, hadn't cried in years, like men don't cry. And I got on my knees literally and just, I saw who I was being, and it just ripped me apart. So like, the whole group came up, hugged me. It was a cool thing. Oh, and then I went to lunch and told my group, I was like, yo, this is what I'm doing. And it's not what I'm going to keep doing. I'm meant to do something else. And so I came back to San Diego at the time. So we moved from New Mexico, went in the military, San Diego, went back to San Diego, and I sold my business that day. And then I took off to Peru and just hung out in Peru for 6 weeks. And then every day I just, asked myself, what do you want? And every day I got the answer. And it was telling me all along, fitness. And I was like, that's not it. Next day, fitness. I'm not good enough. Fitness.
This is something about intuition people need to understand.
Serious.
It'll tell you something that makes zero sense to you. And it'll be so clear. And it'll keep telling you so clearly, and it'll be calm and sweet and peaceful. And you'll be like, no.
Totally. I fought it.
Yeah.
I fought on every level. I had every limiting belief telling me, you're out of shape. Who's going to listen to you? And I did this literally, Meg, for a freaking month. And then we went to Machu Picchu. And then Machu Picchu, I just had this spiritual experience that I'd never had before. And then I asked again, what do you want? And like slapped me in the face. Fitness, dummy, So I surrendered to it. I went back home and got in the fitness business. And then that was in 2007. I started a fitness company and a nutrition company. And I ran those two for the last almost 15 years until about 3 weeks ago. I decided to get out of the fitness business because this is like a second turning point. During the election cycle last year, I started, I was watching everybody fight, my candidate, your candidate, my belief, whatever.
Yep.
And I got, I was looking at that and I thought, like, this isn't the world that I want to see, And so then I went this period, I was angry. I was like, this is bullshit. Yeah. But then like, from a responsible standpoint, I just looked at it and said, well, if this isn't the world that you want to see, then what's the world that you want to see? And I thought about it, and actually didn't think about it right away. It came to me, connection. I want to see a world where people are connected.
Yeah. And
that's my vision. And I've always believed that we are born with a particular mission or a purpose of some sort.
Yeah.
So then the piece of the story I left out, and it links right back to what I'm talking about, is I went back to that leadership development school in 2007, and they had a program where you could learn how to be a coach and then coach their clients through this 4-month transformational process journey. So I did that. And then I went back over and over and over and over and over, thousands of people. So it was like 2 tracks. I was running the fitness and like health track. And then on the other leg, I was coaching people in transformation. And there just came this day. I remember in like 2017, I had literally created my entire vision board, like everything on there. I had it. And it was like at the peak of my fitness career. And then I just started to feel this kind of void. I was like, there's something else. It started, that intuitive thing again started. Yeah. You know what? The same limiting beliefs came up. It was like, who's going to listen to you? Everyone in San Diego knows you as a fitness guy. Who's going to listen to you as just garbage?
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes I'm slow. So it took me a few years to like let that resonate enough to where I made a decision on it. And during the election cycle last year, I made the decision that it's time for me to leave fitness. You know, I was trying to grow the business still, I use that word intentionally, and it wasn't growing anymore. I just kept hitting a wall. And there was a side of me that knew it. Like I was doing promotions and doing these challenges, but my heart wasn't in it. I was just going through the motions of it. So I made a decision in December to switch gears and go all in on coaching. And I still coach for that same company, but then I started my own company doing Reinvention coaching. And now that's where a series that I launched called Reinvent Yourself came out of in January. Yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah, exactly. So okay. So that started in January. And so what was the thing 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. So then, so since January till 3 weeks ago, I was running 2 tracks again. I was running the new business and the Reinvent Yourself series. And I was still running the fitness business. And that has been, I've taken it online and left San Diego. I'm traveling the world right now. And you know, the funny thing, Meg, is the fitness business, it's two things, right? Fitness business and nutrition business.
Yep.
I was between the two of them, I was only working 5 hours a week.
Wow.
It wasn't much, you know, it was on autopilot. I was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what I realized in March is that the way I was wired, the fitness business and the nutrition business they were creating a back door for me to not go all in and put myself all in the personal development coaching that I really want to do. So I was going in like 80%, you know, 90%, but it was like over here, I have the safety net of money, income, all that stuff. And so I dropped the nutrition company in March, went a few more months, but then realized still the fitness commitment, as small as it was still a back door and I wasn't going all in. So I took off to Costa Rica for a month and then just got clear in Costa Rica that it really is time for me to leave, like 100% leave. So came back from Costa Rica, jumped on a Zoom with my clients, told them the news, and some of them were kind of upset, but I said, look, you guys have one more week with me and then we're done.
Wow. Wow, this is really interesting because I will tell my clients, and I will talk about this on video, is to look at your intuitive story and to have that 2020 behind you vision of the things that spoke to you at different points in your life, you know, and yours is so interesting because it started young with your body talking to you and realizing that, you know, your body led you to find these experiences of, wow, these doctors are supposed to care for me and they're not even connecting with me. And then you find somebody who does, and it just awakens you. And then you do years of something you cannot stand in the military. And then, but that's important. I mean, I think it's as important to understand what you don't want as it is to understand what you do want. You know, it's like understanding you really don't want to live in this place or be in that relationship, or, you know, those things are important for you because they bring out who you are. They bring out the essence of what you're here to contribute, you know, that when it's hard like that, you know? So, and then you listen to this voice in you that says something that you're like, I don't want to do that. And then you do it and it's successful. And then so you're constantly, what I'm seeing is I listen to your story is that you're going through those experiences, you're following the lead, maybe not right away, and I think this happens with most of us. We have to kind of gestate, we have to kind of let it develop within us, and then also let our journeys just develop in front of us so that when we look behind us, we can go, oh, you know what? I have this skill. I really, really, really want to use this skill now to be of service. And that's ultimately, it's what it's about, is being of service, you know? So you're in a powerful moment in your own life. And so since you made that decision 3 weeks ago, how have the last few weeks been? Because you're in a fresh place.
I totally am. It's just been wild. I mean, we're in Denver right now, and so many opportunities have opened since going to Costa Rica and coming back. And that's been, it's 3-4 weeks. Opportunities to do other things. I mean, the Reinvent Yourself series has been awesome. And the people, the caliber of people that I've been, interacting with and playing with is amazing. And then I got an opportunity to sounds crazy to say this, but it is what it is, to build a small resort in Costa Rica.
Oh, that's wonderful. I used to have a small sort of resort in South Carolina. I had a retreat center there. So it's just
I didn't know
so much fun. Yeah. Yeah. It's really
That's
fun.
Awesome.
And so are you going to have, I'd imagine you're going to have a coaching and healing element there at the resort? Maybe?
I mean, am
I dropping a seed into your head?
No, it's gonna, it's like the space will be designed for that, for people to come and do that. So awesome. That's not the intention of building it, but that will definitely be like a ripple effect of building it. That's been pretty crazy. That came up. My buddy has the land already. We've like run numbers and comps and the whole, we got really all the plan together. Now we're going into a fundraising phase, and it's something I've never raised $1 million, and that's what I get to do this next quarter. So that opened up, and then the place that we're in right now renting is the owner wants to sell it, and I'm gonna buy it, and so that's opened up, and it's in a just gorgeous neighborhood that's growing and will easily be able to turn into a rental property if I don't want to live here. And then I'm gonna I've been splitting my time between Denver and South Dakota. And I've fallen in love with South Dakota, which if you've never been to South Dakota, you're probably like thinking like, what? South Dakota from San Diego and Denver and Costa Rica? I'm telling you folks, there's some magic in South Dakota, and I discovered it this year. So we've been going back and forth. We just came back this weekend, and there's so much land and just fresh air there. You can get land cheap. So I'm looking at how can I build something there too?
Amazing just to see how fluid you are in your intuitive journey and how open you are to the experiences, because this is one thing that intuition does, is that it brings experiences to you. It brings people to you. It brings opportunities to you. And when your intuition's turned on, you just know. You just know. You're like, yes, I know I need to do this resort. I know I need to do this coaching. I know I need to do this mentor series. And you're also flowing with it. And I think that's really important for people that are watching to really understand is that, and that's a hard part, is to master that ability to flow with the intuitive when, especially when it's like, this seems insane. But, but how exciting this is too,
Totally. Yeah. And for anyone listening who you have grand ideas that you've never done. I mean, I've never done any of this. I've done the coaching thing and the entrepreneur thing, but I own property, but I've never built property, and I've never purchased a piece of property that's, 3 times out of my reach, which is what this place is that I'm in right now. And I've never stretched to go build something else like in another state. And so what I want to say to people listening is when you aren't aligned with your intuition, your higher self, you're going to be blocked in certain ways. And part of that is your belief system on what's possible, because there's this voice inside of us telling us if we're not honoring that deepest calling, then there's a voice saying that no, my intuition isn't right, or I can't do it, or whatever those beliefs are. And what I've realized, since making this big decision and recognizing these opportunities is that my capacity to just know that I can do certain things is expanded 20-fold. Yeah. I'm not stressed about any of it.
Uh-huh.
I tend to knock off around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and
Mhm.
then I'm done for the day. And I've been hopping on calls at night to present the idea to investors or certain things like that. And it doesn't feel like a big burden or
Yeah.
overwhelming. It is fluid. Like you said, like I just flow from my day, talk to you, talk to a client, and then someone has an introduction to someone who has some cash. Great. Let's just hop on a call. Let me throw the
Yeah.
idea by you, and then we can talk again. And it's just so fluid. And like, I had a big block on that
Mhm.
before, and that block is gone. So that's one of the big things that's opened up, in the
Yeah.
last 3-4 weeks for me.
Wow. That's awesome. I love your story. And I know it's going to be really powerful for people listening, because stories of successful entrepreneurs, they always include an intuitive turning points, and they always include intuition as being a part of wiring, how we're wired, we're wired
Yeah.
to think a certain way and all of that. But there's also, it's a personal development journey. And so you have to bust through your own blocks, and it's a continuing journey. And so you just keep expanding, expanding, expanding. And each time you're like, oh, I did that. Cool. So
Yeah.
really
And some
exciting.
of those is just it's like some of it is the doing, like I did that, holy crap. And some of it is just the belief that
Yeah.
opens up, because there was a belief in me when I went to Costa Rica that I couldn't do what my buddy was asking me to do with him. And
Yeah.
then by the time I was done, my mind opened up to it. And just that is just like, wow, my mind opened up to doing something I've never done. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I
Yeah.
do believe I can do it now, where as before I didn't have that belief. And that's like a magical thing to just expand in what you think is possible.
Yeah, it is. That's awesome. So that's great. So you're into a lot of things, obviously. How can people get in touch with you? Maybe they want to invest. Maybe they want to, you never
Never
know.
know. Yeah.
Maybe they want to watch your mentor series or get coaching with you. How do they get you?
I'm launching a Reinvent Yourself series where I'm doing something similar to what we're doing here, where I'm interviewing experts who just created that life of success in all the areas. And so that launches in the next few days. So if they want to connect and just, hear me and hear others who've done maybe what they want to do, and they're in this exploration phase of like, yeah, I feel like there's something next for my life. I don't know quite what it is, or I do know what it is, but I don't know if I can do it or how to do it. The series that I'm doing that you're on,
Yes.
the intention of it is to take people who are in that phase and just say, for them to find the courage from within themselves to go explore what they're feeling called to do. So that would probably be the easiest way is to opt into that series. Or if you find me on social, Facebook or Instagram, when the series completes, I'll put a link back up for a confidence booster workshop that I did. And so they can, if they want something a little more digestible, one-time hit, then that will be an option as well. So it just kind of depends on when they hear this interview.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely have the links down below. And
Cool.
Thank you so much, Shawn, for being on the show and for sharing your story. I feel inspired. I feel expansive just being in your energy today, which, for people listening, people like Shawn will help you feel expanded. And there's so much power in that.
Thank you so much. It's seriously an honor, like the space that you hold. And you've been just such a saint, behind the scenes when we talk, text, whatever. You're such a great person. You're doing such great things. And I'm genuinely honored to just share the space with you once again, and now on your platform. So thank you for having me. And thanks for asking the awesome questions that you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for watching Intuitive Turning Points.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching Intuitive Turning Points. I want you to go ahead and like the video, and please subscribe to my channel and then ring the bell to get notifications of future episodes so that you can get the latest in Intuitive Turning Points, stories of successful entrepreneurs. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth. Get your dose of inspiration right here on Intuitive Turning Points. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for you.